Go live. Okay, wonderful. All right, awesome. All right, we're streaming on Twitch and on YouTube now, so fantastic. So I haven't said this in so long, but if you're a dedicated Twitcher or tuber, by all means, please report for duty. Report for duty. Oh my gosh. Okay, let me plug something up here. Okay, we have that plugged. 5 by 15 is here. Awesome. I am on YouTube, Trinity. I am. I'm on YouTube. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining me today. As you know, I do want to play some intro music. All right. While we let more people get in here. All right. Clean. I want the clean version of the song. I don't want the. There we go. Okay. Oh, that was on me. Oh, fudge. Hey, guys, I did make an order on Amazon yesterday, and I still didn't buy a new converter. That's on me. Still a little janky. All right, guys, continue to, hey, Mac, continue to tap the screen, share the live. Let's get the word out. Also, let's knock out our penny gift goal. Thank you, New York City. Like just being active participants is how TikTok recognizes and gets us on the FYP. So please keep doing all of the good things. I'm so excited to have this conversation today because we're going to be speaking to so many different organizations nationally and grassroots. Is going to be pretty amazing here. And I would say near the end, maybe the last 15 minutes, we'll save it for a few people to come up and ask a few viewer questions. I've given up on hope with this sound thing. I promise, guys, I'm going to buy a new converter today. I promise. So we're just going to do this. All right. Okay. This sound sucks. All right. Barack Obama finna show up for real, Chris? You secured him? Stop playing. That would be so cool. All right. No, my dream is actually to interview Michelle Obama, and I'm going to make that happen one day. I might be almost 60 when it happens, but it's going to happen. I'm going to make it happen. But guys, keep tapping the screen, sharing a line. Let's do all of the good things, guys. Let's do all of the good things. And I can unplug this because it won't be there. There we go. Thank you. I appreciate you. Dan, your subscription is expiring. I need you to fix that. All right. I'm going to go ahead and let up Falcon. All right. And I want to do our screen this way today since we are hosting. Hey, Falcon, how are you?
Hello. Can you hear me?
There you go. Hi, beautiful. How are you today?
Can you hear me or is this not working?
I can't hear you for nothing. No.
It hates me. Can you hear me now?
No, not no. No, is it me? It was me. It wasn't you, it was me. I turned my aux all the way down. It's okay. I can hear you now, love.
Okay, so
it's like background noise. I don't know what it is. It's weird. There is an echo. Okay, so there is an echo.
1 second. Let me.
Okay. All right. Okay, so yes, Falcon is with Money Out of Politics, and they are an organization based out of the DMV. And their main goal is in the name, is literally to get money out of politics, to basically get rid of like things like Citizens United, APAC, so that they can stop influencing our politicians and keeping our politicians in their pockets. Allura is her name, but I do call her Falcon. That's what she's known as here on TikTok. And she's going to be helping me along the way because Falcon is absolutely amazing. She is the one who came to me and she was like, you have to give the people hope. I'm like, what are you talking? She's like, it's not irreversible. Like, there's stuff that we can do in order to actually reverse this big ugly bill. And I said, okay, what can we do? And she mentioned that is all about organizing, like us actually coming from in front of the camera to actually getting down on the ground, being in the streets and doing the work. And it's more than just protesting. So we're definitely going to be going over that today. So guys, please, please, please have your handy dandy notebooks ready. Take notes, write down questions that you may have near the end. We will allow a few people to come up to ask a question. Just be prepared and make it count. I'm gonna say make it count. All right. So Falcon, you want to try to see if their echo still exists?
Is it better
Is
now?
it better now? Oh, that's so perfect. Thank you.
Okay.
That is so
We had to
perfect.
switch microphones.
Okay. All right. Awesome. 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 So, Falcon, thank you so much for joining me today. And thank you so much for being the inspiration behind this. You're an absolutely amazing person. They say there's still an echo. Why? Is it me?
What am I doing wrong?
I don't hear an echo on your end. Oh, it's from me? Oh, no fun. Okay. How do I do this? There we go. Okay, is that better, guys? Maybe turn down your aux. Okay, is that better? I just need. Okay, that's better. Okay, great. All right.
Can you guys hear me without the echo now? Hello.
Okay, I think we're good, Falcon.
All right. This is, I don't do this all the time. So
I know you don't do this all the time. It's okay. It's okay. All right. So, guys, before we get started, I do want to say again, please, 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 this is educational. Thank you, Janae. This is for us to learn how we can actually get involved in our political process and the democratic process. And we're going to be talking about quite a few different things here today. So please, 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 again, take notes. Do everything you can to be active participants. Tap, tap, tap the screen. Share the live. Let's clear out our penny goals. I'm going to keep them super small. This, again, is just to keep us on the FYP so that TikTok lets the people know that we're here. The more you stay engaged, the more people we can get the word out to. So thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you all so, so very much. And Falcon, hi, love.
So I just want to say, because I can see Mayhem in the comments, Mayhem, if you can go to our Discord server and share the live and at everyone so that our team can come and get involved and help push this out so more people can watch, I would appreciate it. I just need Mayhem to type something so I can see he's still paying attention. And then Lawyer Bay, I'm actually gonna let. I'm so excited that she's willing to do this. So Lawyer Bay Reloaded is in the comments.
Awesome.
And she is actually our executive director for MOP. And I would love for you to let her up
Yes.
and let her talk about MOP because I talk too much.
Most definitely. Most definitely.
Hi, boss lady.
Hi.
Hey, girl, hey.
How are you?
How are y'all doing?
We're doing well. How are you today?
I'm doing pretty good. Erica, we appreciate you.
Of course, of course. So I'm so glad that you're taking the time out of your Sunday to actually be here to speak with us. If you will, I like to call it the elevator pitch. I'm sure you're familiar. If you could you give us the elevator pitch for Money Out of Politics?
Sure. Pleasure to be here. The elevator pitch is this. The American people have been disengaged from the civic process because they feel like their vote doesn't count. And quite honestly, that's the truth. Stark economic inequality does not comport with the political equality required by our democracy. And our government and Supreme Court has sold us the fuck out. Oh, sorry. Well,
You
therefore,
can curse. You can curse. It's okay.
And that's pretty much it. From 1976, Buckley v. Vallejo, all the way up to Citizens United, opened the floodgates and has given corporations and big money outsized influence in our politics. And our representatives are not tethered to the interests of the American people. and we are here to bring them back down to earth. So, we're going to overturn Citizens United with a constitutional amendment, and we're looking to put some teeth, into, banning lobbyist gifts and congressional stock trading. It's too far gone, and the American people deserve better. Constitutional integrity must be restored. So,
Okay. So I know you're looking. You mentioned actually taking money out of politics via a constitutional amendment. How do you get there? That's like, how do you get there, and like, how can we help you get there?
yeah, so there's two ways to amend the Constitution. You can go through state legislators, or you can go through Congress and then have it ratified by states. The majority, if not all, of our amendments were done through Congress. How it's
Oh, your
happened.
sound's cutting out, love.
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you. It's just a little low.
All right. How about now?
Uh, a little better, but go on.
All right, hold on.
We'll make it work.
How about now?
It's still low. It's okay.
It's
Go ahead.
Well, usually, being quiet is not my damn issue. Anywho,
I love it.
the majority, if not all of our amendments, once the political preference bill, Congress proposes the amendment, and our who's going to some background noise? Is that Rylan?
Oh, my bad. 1 second. Let me go turn the TV down.
You gotta mute Falcon. I'm just gonna mute her.
But anywho, essentially, we're looking to get it done however it gets done. And there's been a lot of people in this space. And one thing I know about activism is you don't reinvent the wheel.
Yep.
You don't come in and slap your name on shit and show ego. You come into spaces and you look at who's been doing the work and where you can learn from and where you can help. And that's where our coalition has sort of been focused. And so currently there is it's called HJ Resolution 54, and it's been introduced by Jayapal. And 59 co-sponsors joining every day. I think the last one that I saw was on June 24th. All Democratic currently. But what we need you to do is tell your representatives you're done. The American people deserve better, and you will either support this amendment or you will be voted out. We need the American people to get back involved. One organization can't do it. A coalition can't do it. The American people have to do it. They have to stand up and say, you know what, I'm here, I'm checked in, and I'm not going to put up with this shit. So
fair the fuck enough. Okay. All right. So one way that you can go about finding your House rep on a federal level is going to house.gov/representative, and it actually will you'll be able to enter your zip code in, and you'll be able to actually find who your House rep is along with their contact information, where you can either give them a call or send them an email, or if you like the good old USPS, you can even send them a letter. So that's one way that you can get involved, is by contacting your House rep. Especially,
No, go ahead.
No, you're fine, love. What were you gonna say?
Absolutely. House reps, contact your senators, let them know. I mean, 23 states have agreed to amend the Constitution should an amendment be proposed. So we're not as far away as you think. You know what I mean? Like, there's not really any issue that the American people are facing that I couldn't personally tie back to money in politics.
Yeah, true.
So when we get this dealt with, the American people will see our legislator work for the American people again. You'll see the gap bridge, and I think you'll see more competitive candidates and maybe even a third party. You never know.
And that's also something that we wanted to discuss too. I know we have Falcon may have mentioned to share your text number.
You go to our TikTok profile, the one that I'm live streaming from now. The first pinned video will have a phone number that you can text, as well as a message, and it will automatically get you signed on to the petition. You can also go to our website. I don't know how to TikToks, y'all. I know there's a better way to do this, but you can go to our website, moneyoutapolitics.org, and there's an orange button in the corner that says get involved, and you can fill out the form to volunteer. And that's really what we need is people power. And then if you want to, we also have merch that I am wearing, and you can also buy merch on our website. One day I will be less awkward.
You're fine. You're perfectly fine. And guys, you can text 50409 straight from your cell phone to also get updates along with learning ways to actually volunteer with Money Out of Politics. Again, that's texting 50409 straight from your iPhone. So, hey, that's good. I do want to bring up
one last thing if I can.
May Day.
Integrity on July
May Day Movement USA. Yes.
In DC and in state capitals around the nation. Get involved, get in the street. Let's capitalize on the energy of our nation right now.
Yeah. Laura Ray, you don't have to go because there's additional things that we can discuss. So you can stay for as long as you want.
Yeah.
Of course. All right. Hi, Mayday. Okay, so Mayday Movement USA. Hi, I'm Erica. Nice to meet you. Hey, if you don't mind, will you please tell us a bit about your organization, like the elevator pitch, what it is you do, and how we can get involved?
Yeah, so Mayday Movement is the impeach and remove team. That is all we're about, and we're pretty singularly focused on it. And what we do to try to make that happen is kind of try to act as a funnel that takes the public support for impeachment and removal and funnels it directly into the legislators' offices, because we feel like the demand is there, the backing is there, but the legislature is cowardly, as we have seen a lot over the last week. And they should be more afraid of the opinions of the people they represent than they should be of pissing off an orange guy who wears too much hair product. And we're trying to make sure that they get as much feedback from their people as possible.
Okay. All right. Wonderful. I did want to say something in regards to what this is. So what we're doing right now is we're learning how to get involved. All right. From content to action, how we can go from being, on our phones to actually getting involved in the political process. And this is kind of like the first series and what's likely going to be a 3-part series. We're going to do this first, talk about how we can get involved. Then we want to look at, okay, what does that look like? And actually talking to different content creators, some who do want to get involved but don't know where to start, and others who actually are involved in political organizing. And then the second, well, not the second, but the third, I haven't decided on the third, but I think it should, I'm not going to brainstorm it right here. I was about to start brainstorming. That's that ADHD stuff. But yes, so that's what we're doing. And Mayday Movement USA, you mentioned being mostly about, impeaching and removing. What ends up happening a lot we've seen in history of the United States is that we can get a president impeached, because the House does the impeaching, but we can't get the Senate to actually remove them. So I know other action we can take is calling your senator, but what more can we actually do to move the needle on that?
Yeah, it's not just been hard in American history. It's literally never happened.
It's never happened, yeah.
Never actually gotten this done.
Yep.
But I think this is a special moment in history because, A, we really don't have any other option, right? Like, as far as the law goes, we are out of other tools.
True.
So we got to try our best, and that's where we are on that. And then B, this is a special moment because we are so much more connected to these senators than people have been for their legislators throughout American history. And that's what Mayday is trying to do, is try to help people get there physically in office when at all possible and show that they're willing to put that effort in and be like, hey, I'm from Wisconsin, whatever it is. And I came all the way here to your office to tell you that this is how much I care about this. Get off your ass and do it. And they respond really strongly to those visits. And so I don't think there has been a push like this before for impeachment, because especially in the Senate, part of the holdup is that they have this view of themselves as if they're supposed to act as impartial jurists, which is kind of bullshit because they've been elected to a political office.
Yeah.
And
If I can sort of chime in and tie this back to money, because what you see right now, right, is this threat that from Elon Musk prior, and even now, the threat of a primary about big money, essentially. And what we can do is support grassroots candidates. We can put these people out of office if we build community, if we educate each other, if we get engaged in the civic process. The threat is voting them out.
Yep.
They don't have, yes, competing with money is problematic, but it's really a matter of disseminating information, educating each other, and building community. And then, when the threat is there that the American people will primary you, that we'll put grassroots candidates that have integrity and care about each other, we'll put them in office, then you will see these people be held accountable. Like right now, it's party over nation. What's happening right now is an absolute full frontal assault on the Constitution, on democracy, on the American people. It is just absolutely insane to watch such brazen behavior by our elected representatives, and it quite literally is teetering on, not even teetering on, it tips towards and you sliding face first into tyranny. And now we are undefeated against it. I'll say this: I have faith in the American people, and I don't think the American people go fucking belly up to this one. But that means we have to get involved, right? I mean,
yes,
the pressure has to build. Speech, we have to say we're unhappy, and that I hate when people act like marching is like pointless, because it's quite literally the largest expression
it is
of our First Amendment available, and it's the first step to the next things. And there's a path of this that ends in tragedy, but the American people have the ability to direct it. So I think we should get to it.
And that actually leads me to, that's a great point that you do make. That leads me to two questions that I had while listening to you speak. The first question, and I'm going to post this to you, Laura, Laura Bay, along with Mayhem. I'm going to pose this question to you two, and then I'm going to go to the golden guy to introduce his org in the elevator pitch. The first question would be, is the grassroots candidate, because we live in a two-party system. People are afraid of independence, like the independent candidate. So how do we get the independent candidate to be more attractive to the everyday citizen, so that they can put their support behind them? And then also, we know that protesting is one of the, marching in the streets is one of the biggest ways to actually show your dislike for something, to express your voice, express your opinion. However, of course, not everyone can do it. And so we want to talk about other ways that people can also get involved behind the scenes. So first question is, how do we get the support behind those independent candidates?
So my answer to this, and one of our partners that could not be here today but will be here next time, is ranked choice or star voting. So giving people another option as far as voting, and we just saw that happen in New York. Yep. We were able to see someone like Mondami win a Democratic Party because they had access to ranked choice voting. And so it's, again, making people feel like they can vote for someone. Mott's second initiative with this is our Candidate Integrity Pledge. So you have a directory of candidates on our website that are willing to uphold their integrity when it comes to money out of politics. And then I would say, thirdly, it's getting money out of politics so that people who've become disillusioned with the system feel like their vote actually matters. And that's what I'm here for. As someone who is Gen Z and sees so many people my age completely disillusioned with politics because they feel like nothing they do matters. Exactly. That's why I'm a part of this, because I want other Gen Z adults my age, because we are not kids anymore, to see that there is a pathway where our vote counts.
I'm with that. I'm actually with that. And I think we would be um, better off if we did have more progressive candidates. Those candidates like Madani, they actually seem to actually care about the citizenship, their constituents, versus being in it for the money, which again, money just corrupts all. It corrupts it. Um, I'm starting to think about Barack Obama, but we're not going to talk about that. We're not going to talk about that today. And so the next part is outside of protesting, how can we all, be inclusive, and how can we all, get involved even behind the scenes? Mayhem.
Do you mean Mayday?
Mayday, I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
I can't see it. I
yeah.
can't see, and
It's okay.
I can't see with my glasses.
I just wanted to be sure in case Mayhem was like right there or something. Yeah, so there's a lot of really exciting stuff that you can do from not in the streets and not in DC even, which is obviously our main thing, but there are a lot of things that need to be done. For example, we have created all of these postcards, and we put them into these packets and send out packets and instructions on how to host a postcard party, where you and all of your buddies in your neighborhood can get to write postcards to your legislators and say, and we'll have an impeachment logo on the front, and then you can write your own reason why on the back and send it in. Getting those kinds of things to your legislators directly is still an important part of getting us across that line. And then the other thing that I'm really excited about, one of the things we've been working on a lot lately, is trying to build a mutual aid system that really empowers people to go to the district to talk to their legislators, just helping each other be able to take care of their pets, babysit, whatever it is that is coming up. Yeah, there's a postcard packet for our postcard party. But whatever it is that's coming up that's keeping you from doing what it is, I think that if we built a better, stronger community, then we would also be better, stronger advocates for ourselves in the legislature.
That would be the postcard card packet seem pretty cool, especially to get the kids involved in. I think Bubba, that's my 11-year-old. I think that'd be something he would find fun to do. Okay.
Did y'all do any of the postcards to swing states in the election or anything?
Are you asking me, or are you asking money out of politics?
Yes. So we do this with almost all of our partner organizations. Postcards to Swing States is amazing.
Awesome.
And it literally gives you all the instructions for everything that you need to do. It's absolutely a wonderful program. I'm super excited to see Mayday getting involved with postcarding for impeachment. But it's a super simple thing, and I do have my kids do postcarding with me. We've even done postcarding projects with my son's kindergarten classroom to talk about civic engagement and things like that.
Awesome.
So this is something that if my kids' kindergarten class can do this is something that most people can do.
Now, how are you actually successful in getting into the school to actually do something political? I live in Arizona, and my kids going to 6th grade. I would totally love to do that. There is nothing more that I enjoy than actually talking to kids and watching them learn. How did you do that?
So for me, it was just a conversation with my kid's teacher, and I picked an issue to postcard for that felt not controversial for the school to talk about, and also felt close to home for a lot of the kids here. So I live in an area with 10 different military bases. Okay. And so we did a postcarding about veterans benefits and improving the living conditions for active duty service members. And there's almost no one in my area that's going to argue with you about veterans and active duty people having better access to housing and medication and all of those things. So I picked an issue that I knew would matter to people here locally. The barracks here are gross. And then I pitched it I am also a veteran. And then I pitched it to the school as civic engagement, as teaching our kids from an early age ways that they can be involved and active citizens. So you have to know, I guess, your community, and also know, who, how there are certain things obviously are not going to go over well in the school district, but if you know your if you know your community,
Gotta be
then you can
very careful. Walk a fine line.
But this is how
So-
we get kids involved from an early
Exactly.
age.
If I can add on just briefly,
Sure.
for what Mayday said, for what Falcon said, for me, the basis of all of this is building, right? Educating each other, because somebody had mentioned in the comments about time and money. When people are driving an hour and a half to work, sitting in traffic, working all day, get shop, got to take care of the kids, do homework, sports, what have you, cook dinner, they are checked out, right? I mean, just checked out because when else are you going to get involved? What else are you paying attention to? You're just trying to do the best you can, keep your head above water, keep your kids healthy, etc. But if we build community, if we can convince each other that we're people, right? that necessarily not everybody on the right is a Nazi, and not everybody on the left has blue hair and a nose ring and wants socialism. But we start having these conversations that humanize each other, and I think again, a lot of the issues, like Falcon said, a lot of these issues can be, not even can be, are nonpartisan. There are things that Americans are facing every day, and then when you hear Democrat or Republicans like Pavlovian response, they're drooling at the mouth, and so we can't agree on where maybe who caused it or how we fix it, but we're still facing the same things, and we've been trained to keep this division, which prevents us from organizing. With this American individualism, this bootstrap narrative has quite literally been a genius, insidious plan to really culminate where we're at. And I have a lot of thoughts about how we got here. I won't go into today, but but we have to start there, right? Because the reality is, if this escalates any further, if there are strikes, if there is conflict, etc., our neighbors, our communities are going to hurt, especially marginalized communities. We've got to build the infrastructure to support each other so that we can do what needs to be done here. Otherwise, you cannot. A starving, poverty-stricken populace is really, really hard to organize, because when kids are hungry and they can't pay their bills and all this stuff is going on, it's just really difficult to organize. And so if we start by building community and building infrastructure to support each other, then we get a solid base to do what we need to do.
Exactly. We need to show people on both sides that we have more in common than we do different.
As a quick recap, I was just going to say, as a quick recap, mutual aid, getting involved with mutual aid organizations, knocking doors. If you see that grassroots candidate that you think that you want to have a shot, you're going to have to do more than vote for them. You're going to have to be willing to get out and knock doors for them, as well as knocking doors to raise awareness for organizations. So canvassing is a way that you can get involved, writing letters. And I will say, posting videos on social media about organizations that you care about, even if you only have 50 followers. Like, it doesn't matter. The doesn't matter how famous you are or how many people are following you. The point is that we are sharing the word any which way we can, whether it's in person or online, but getting out in person, starting your neighborhood gardening group and sharing fruits and vegetables with your neighbors, to knocking doors for organizations or candidates, to writing letters to the person who drew the artwork for these t-shirts. all of that counts. All of that matters.
That's awesome. I do want to get to, thank you so much for that, Falcon. I do want to get to the
Yes,
golden
yes,
guy.
yes, yes.
Thank you so much for your patience, the golden guy. All right. All right. The golden guy is with the Common Defense org, and just, your elevator pitch, let the people know what your org is about and what you do in the community. And then we'll go from there.
Hey, I'm actually with the Iron Front of North Carolina. So,
I messed
but
that
we
one
do
up.
do
There's so many people today.
a lot of work. And I know, thank you so much for having us on here.
Of course.
I love the opportunity to talk about the work that we're trying to do. And we are trying to get a wide net of community defense and mutual aid out for everybody in our state particularly, but we're just the North Carolina chapter, so we've got other chapters in like Virginia and other states. So we're slowly growing throughout the whole country, and there is an Iron Front of the United States of America, but they're more decentralized, and we're just strictly focused on what we can do within our local community. And we've got people all over the state that do food drives. We do mutual repair events. We always have. We've been able to be at every single 50-51 protest because we like to pride ourselves in our peacekeeping skills.
Awesome.
You'll find a lot of Iron Front members go with the 50-51. They do like online seminars about how to de-escalate and stuff like that. So you always have Iron Front members in there. And we're mainly focused on mutual aid. So we also do like community gardens and stuff like that. We have done a lot of work with individuals. If, some people are going through the hard times right now and they can't pay for their rent, we have members that are able to help other members with that. Stuff like car repair. And we generally just want to oppose fascists and make the world a better place for the people around us.
Wonderful. Glad to hear it. How do you, I like that you mentioned that your focus is on mutual aid. How do you inspire people to actually give? Because people have to believe in what it is that they're giving to. How do you go about doing so?
Well, the easiest part of that is if you show them what it's like to be a person that gives and how readily other people stand with you when you give. It's not even we haven't had any problems. A lot of people, when they're in particular spaces that we frequent, are there specifically because they want things to go in an upwards direction. And we have been unfortunately put in a position where we're going straight downwards. So when all else fails, the best way that we have found is to stand up when everything else is falling down around you, whether that be the government or your friends and family who don't agree with your beliefs. The Iron Front has made it a good effort to try and be there when your other systems of protection have failed you.
Yes. And that was one of the things that I was thinking about is when it comes to mutual aid, framing it as we're helping each other, because we are helping each other, especially with things like the big, beautiful bill going into place. And we don't know how soon we're going to be able to repeal it. I'm keeping hope alive that we're going to be able to repeal it by taking action and getting the supermajority in both the House and the Senate. But with that being said, people sharing a common goal. Everybody wants their kids to eat. So showing that, the state is no longer taking care of the citizens. We have to take care of each other. And what that looks like, I think could definitely be a way, because mutual aid is going to be a big thing, I feel, in the coming future, like in the near future. Yeah. So thank you so much, the golden guy. Yes,
I
Falcon?
need to interrupt right quick just to say Adam from the DSA is here. He is not TikTok literate, but at the bottom of your screen, Adam, there should be a button with two little people on it. I think one is blue and one is pink. If you click that button, you should get in the request so you can come up and talk about DSA. I know you're he's trying to figure out TikTok for the first time.
If he comments.
And then he commented and I tried to send him
There he
an
goes, Adam
invitation.
Morrow.
Yeah.
There we go. All right, I sent you an invitation, love.
And then End Corruption Pennsylvania sent me a message and said they're in the request. And then if you, Hannah, if you would be so kind as to send Jay a text message, because I have not heard from her yet today, and I don't know if she's still at the Visibility Brigade.
I sent Adam a request. He just has to hit accept and come up. Does he have a no? He may not be able to come up because he may not have enough followers. Yeah, it's possible because he doesn't have enough followers. He may not have live access. Okay, but yeah. All right, you guys can talk about that on the back end. I'm going to mute you, okay, Falcon?
Okay.
Okay. All right. Hi, welcome in corruption. Okay, guys. So I do want to do a quick mod here. Here's the deal. I know we're going to have more orgs joining us, so I am going to be letting people down. Before I let anyone down, I do definitely want you to be able to take a minute to go, not necessarily go over your org, but let people know how they can get in contact with your organization, maybe your website, your text now number, so on and so forth. So we can do that. But I wanted to talk to FAFO official, which is pretty awesome. We all know what that means. I wanted to go there. Hi, FAFO. Welcome to the panel. If you will, please give like your 30-second speech about what your organization is and your impact on the community.
Hi, thank you for having me here. My name is Jasmine. I am the executive director and co-founder of the Fight Against Fascism organization. We are a veteran-led, but not veteran-exclusive organization. So this is for everyday people, workers, educators, parents, caregivers, you name it. Just anybody who's ever been tired of being told no in the face of when you should be at your worst and you should be given some humility. Just getting humanity back to the people. We really are focused on making safe communities happen again, because I always say I grew up in the 90s. I knew my neighbors. I knew who was safe. I knew who I could talk to. I don't think that we have that structure, and I'm trying to make that structure happen both in small communities across the US and as well as online, because I think that that's also a network that would be a great resource, through the coming months, years, and what have you, until we can get rid of 47.
Yeah. What does that look like? Because Lawyer Bay was mentioning this earlier, that people are so burnt out. It feels like they don't have time for anything else. So getting to know your neighbor and actually building that community, like how do we go about doing that? Like, how do we inspire people?
Yeah, so that's actually something I've been dealing with. So like FAFO is our first action was on April 30th on the National Mall. So like this, we're a very new organization. But I've done things and organized in the past where, I maybe I didn't realize it because now I'm in the driver's seat. There are so many things that you have to do in the background before you get to those big events, and it is taxing. So one of the ways that I have found is that online discourse is the fastest way to disseminate information and also link others. So we use Discord for like everyday interactions, and that's where we'll talk. It helps me get immediate information no matter where I am. If I have FAFO members on the West Coast, they're able to keep me plugged in. One of our members skipped chemo to be the only street medic in underprivileged communities that were under attack by what was going on in LA. So we're a little bit of everywhere, but I think that telling those stories, one, has been given some inspiration, and two, maybe don't make it such a big daunting task. So I encourage people who aren't where I am, based out of South Jersey, to find other like-minded groups, like maybe a 50-50 in one or an Indivisible chapter, to kind of start there. That's where you would likely be able to find some sort of, community to start with, and then you can branch out to the other community organizations or grassroots orgs in your area.
And to add on to what she's saying, is this is sort of like what our model has been, is coalition building, right?
Yep.
We work closely with Jasmine and Fight Against Fascism, as well as quite a few, Mayday, like quite literally, that's what we're doing. We're connecting people across the nation. And so, when we first meet with organizations, it's not what can you do for me? What can we do for you? What gaps do you have? How can we fill it in? Because our organization currently is completely volunteer, but absolutely brilliant minds, right? Mayhem is 21 years, active duty military, special forces. I'm an attorney in Georgia. Mayday is an attorney in another place. I'll say, Jasmine, quite literally, that's what we're doing, right? Falcon, absolutely on the ground, beautiful at reading people. Like, we put together good people. Right now we have 700 motorcyclists riding across the nation getting signatures on a petition, because connecting people is where it's at. And so you might be fighting against fascism and we might be money out of politics, but together we are much bigger than that.
Yep. And that's what I like about coalition building, is that someone said in the comments, like, if groups can focus on different stuff, we can get ish done. That's exactly the thing. So one of the things that I preach is about being organized and organizing. People are burnt out. So the local groups around here, the Indivisibles in South Jersey, we could literally see the exhaustion. I happen to be on their leadership team, and I said, hey guys, so I've been talking to you about this for 3 months. You want to talk about it again? We need to start assigning a couple people to a group so that it's not falling on one person's shoulders. Exactly. It's a marathon, not a sprint. And you're going to find hard fast that a lot of people are so enthused that they're not thinking about that.
Yeah. And everybody has a place in the resistance. But not everybody's on the front lines. Not everybody has the same skill set. But together we form a much stronger, more skilled resistance, and that's just quite literally where it's at.
That actually brings about a question I do want to ask, but two things. I want to get to 5501 Augusta, Georgia, and also in corruption. But guys, real quick, guys, it's 112 of us in here. Let's keep tapping the screen, sharing a live. Let's keep doing all of the good things. Let's show love to the panel for being here today, taking time out on their awesome, Sunday fun day to drop this education and this knowledge on us. And also, if you're not following these amazing organizations, please do. And Adam, I know that you're in the chat, so please make a comment so that everyone here can follow you. Hopefully TikTok is kind and gives you, if you get 100 followers, you maybe can come up, because we'd love to hear from you. So Adam, if you're still here, please make a comment. Hi, yes, that's Adam. There he goes. All right, guys, make sure you all are following Adam Morrow. All right, that way, hopefully we can get him on the panel here, because he does need to have camera access to do so. Okay, so let's see here. 5501 Augusta, Georgia. Hi, welcome to the panel. How are you today?
Hi, can you hear me? I'm doing all right. How are you doing?
Yes, I'm doing well. Thanks so much for asking. Hey, your elevator pitch. Tell us what your org does and the impact on the community.
Yeah, so I'm Z. I'm a little bit of so I'm 5051 Augusta, Georgia. I'm also
Did you say your name is Z?
Yeah, ZEE. Yeah.
Oh, I'm traumatized.
Oh no.
We're gonna talk about that in the next one. Okay, go ahead.
All right, I'm all ears. I want to know. So I work. We organize locally with 5051 Augusta. We've been doing that since April 5th. Was the first date that we did, cool. Which was the hands off and such. And then I'm also an organizer with 5051 Veterans and one of the lead organizers with that. I've been doing that since March. I actually started with veterans and got in at that level. And then I saw somebody posting flyers for like April 5th in Discord and, you know, things here locally. I was like, oh, who's doing that? Like, let me get in on that. So kind of joined it locally, which is great because this is a little bitty blue dot in a red state. And the number one thing that we've heard of all of the events that we've done, I think we've done 4 events. I just got back from, we did Operation Overpass today of lining interstates with big banners from inspired by the Backbone campaign with different messages. Like we had some anti-war messages. We had some just like DeSantis patriotic, fighting for our rights. All power to the people were some of the messages we had today. But yeah, we're basically what we're seeing is like the more that we can host events and get people involved. Like April 5th, we expected maybe 50 people. I mean, that's average for our area, right? For protests. And we had like 300. And so we're seeing a lot more people come out. And as they're seeing more and more people come out, I think they're feeling more comfortable doing so. They're feeling safer doing so. And the number one thing we're hearing is that people are finding community in doing that. Like I live in a very MAGA neighborhood. And people still have MAGA signs up despite everything going on. But just finding people across those, you know, it might be across town or whatever, but still finding that way to connect with people has been huge. And every event that we've done except for today, because we were just out there for an hour and we just had maybe like 20 people holding banners, if that many. We've paired with the local nonprofit. 2 have been sexual assault resource centers, and then another was a food pantry that we did, and then another was actually Sparta, the transgender military advocacy group. And so every event that we do, we either collect donated good, you know, physical goods, or we collect cash or money and donate that to the nonprofits based on you know, whatever we bring in for that event. So it's been good to kind of build that community here.
Actually, wonderful. And I really think community building is going to be the way to go. Again, I think our main thing is going to be how to inspire and what that actually looks like. And I want to hear from End Up Corruption, and then I'm going to go into that question that I had because you said something, Lawyer Bay, that like I was like, ooh, interest. Okay. End Up Corruption. Hi. Welcome to the panel. Glad to have you here.
Hello, good to be here. How are
Hi.
you?
All right. And so I'll definitely do that for you, free or free. You can save it because we will let viewers come up for a bit of a Q&A at the end in about 20 minutes or so. All right. So End Up Corruption, if you will, can you tell us a bit about your organization and your impact on the community?
Sure, yeah. We are March on Harrisburg. We're a Pennsylvania anti-corruption, pro-democracy organization. We've been doing it for about 9 years now or so. We fight to get money out of politics and to connect we the people with the government that makes the collective decisions that govern our lives. So we do a lot of lobbying, a lot of advocacy, a lot of meeting with legislators, a lot of long distance marches. We've marched from Philly to Harrisburg twice from Lancaster to Harrisburg, and once from York. We do a lot of nonviolent direct action. We've done probably 40 or so, over 40 at this point, direct actions. And we do a lot of leadership development and a lot of base building as well, organizing all across the state and then developing leaders because it takes a lot of work, a lot of people to do a lot of work to get things moving. It's a lot of fun. We've gotten the gift ban out of committee twice. We got vote by mail over the finish line. We've gotten open primaries through the state Senate once. We just had a hearing on ranked choice voting and abolishing the electoral college through national popular vote a couple months ago. We got a big anti-super PAC bill through the state house last year, and then we push other things too, along with our allies.
Oh, that is wonderful to hear. And so, if you will, can you take a moment because I think people can get more so behind a movement if they actually understand it. So, can you just take a few moments to explain to the chat what ranked choice voting actually is?
Sure. Right now, the way that we vote is pretty absurd. We end up with winners who don't have support from the majority of the voters. We end up with winners who run divisive, toxic campaigns. And ranked choice voting just says that instead of going in and saying, I vote for this one person and whoever gets the most votes wins, which is how we vote now, You go in and you rank your candidates. You say, this is my top choice, this is my second, this is my third, however many you want to rank. And if nobody has a majority of votes after the first round, if nobody has 50% plus one of first place votes, you go to a runoff. But it's a runoff. It happens right away because everybody's already done it. It's not like, down in Georgia where you have to come back 2 months later and it's just a pain in the ass. Ranked choice voting, instant runoff voting. So you end up with candidates that actually appeal to a majority of voters that people actually like. It's pretty special. So yeah, that's we just saw it in New York City with the incoming mayor there, Mamdani, if he wins in the general. And the other story of that election too was public campaign financing, which is something we're about to introduce a bill here in Pennsylvania on that front, because he was able to run through public campaign financing and go up against Cuomo and a super PAC machine, which just had endless pockets. So these pro-democracy policies, they make a big deal.
Yes, and I am so hoping that the Democratic Socialists of America are available here today to come talk to the audience and talk to us also, because he's doing it the right way. Like he's showing that, like, what happens when community actually comes together for a candidate and we get them in the forefront. And I consider myself to be a democratic socialist, and so him wanting to do more social programs for the citizens of New York City